What's up, guys? It is Rayshawn Nicole here with Huygen, and we are the Unscripted Real Artists. This is our first podcast video, and I hope you guys stay and watch all of the funny moments and
shenanigans.
Yeah. Today we are going to be talking about the latest
Get it right.
Esquire Singapore interview with the Louis Tan.
For those of you who aren't aware, Louis Tan is an actor, stuntman, martial artist, and all around model-esque.
Yes.
Looks like Michelangelo himself carved him. Fabulousness, okay? Familiar with him, you might have seen some of his work. He Netflix's Iron Fist. He was also in Into the Badlands. He played Gaius, and he was Shatterstar in Deadpool 2. Recently, they had a interview with him about Mortal Kombat, the reboot,
Right.
which any child of the 90s will be familiar with the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Yes.
So there's a lot of expectations behind the movie.
Yeah,
you know? But
definitely.
We still don't know who he's playing.
And
right?
he will not give it in.
He is not giving away anything. Here, the running theory, though, is that he's playing Johnny Cage. Also theorize that he's playing a new character.
Right.
Never been before, which is also possible.
Whoever wrote up the questions, whether it was the interviewer or whomever, chef's kiss. Know how to answer those questions as well as he did.
Man.
Right.
Composure. Basically, with these interview questions, he was kind of put on the spot in a lot of time, in a lot of moments.
Yeah.
So it's like to be able to answer those questions in a way that wouldn't like give too much away or get too personal.
So I think he was throwing a lot of curveballs, and it took media training to answer those questions. And I'm pretty sure with his dad's background.
In the very first Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, let's be specific because there were many Batmans.
Right.
Okay. The very first Michael Keaton Batman.
That's my favorite.
That is my favorite Batman too. I that just set the bar for Batman. But back to Louis Tan. The way this whole interview was supposed to be was that you were supposed to essentially sign up for the thing, right? So you had to sign up for this thing, right?
Right.
Which gave you the impression that it was a live interview.
Right.
And it said 7 p.m. Singapore time.
Right.
Which basically translates to 6 a.m. US time, right?
Right.
Because I Googled it. I overslept. Oh my God. I missed the interview and my heart sank. I was so disappointed. But then come to find out, it wasn't even live. So that was just like, so then what would I have gotten up early at that crack of dawn for? I don't even get up that early for anything normally. Like, there are very few people that I would get up that early for.
Right.
Just saying. Because I am not one of those people that are very like fangirly.
Right.
I'm not this fangirly, oh my God, screaming One Direction concert, screaming teenage fangirl. No, I don't do it. It's just not in me.
Right.
But when I saw it, because he had posted it to his Instagram stories.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, I debated for it a while, but then I was like, you know what? F it, I'm gonna do it. Went in.
No, let me tell you what had happened, okay? I saw it on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if Hugh saw this. I was like, okay, let me send it to my girl. But then she had already seen it.
Of course.
And I said, right, of course. So I said, are you going? She's like, oh, I don't know. Trying to, download it. I know she gonna go, y'all. I knew she was gonna go. So she's like, oh, I don't know. Or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I think you should do it. I said, because we ain't really doing nothing. We quarantine still, you know? We're not really going outside and we're not trying to go outside. So join that. Go to sleep early to get into the event. You know what I mean? And then, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. And meanwhile, we both thought that it was going to be like questions from fans and they were going to be taking live questions. That ain't happen.
Absolutely did not happen.
That's what we really wanted, though, for him to take questions from fans. I think that would have been 10 times more intense because Louis Tan's fans are crazy. I'm not, y'all crazy, okay?
Y'all.
Just
my legs just broken under the bus. That's what she just did.
Personally, I just feel like, his fans are very like,
they're very
passionate.
Yeah, that's the word.
And they love and they love to see him shine and smile and eat food. And
sidebar, man has a smile that lights up a room. Man.
Here she go, y'all.
He's very
he does.
is what it is, I think, too. He's very
charismatic.
Yeah,
but, most definitely.
Wow. I'm here for it. It warms my heart.
He's very, I will say he's very charming and he's not doing too much.
But he seems to not want to like take full advantage of that in a way. Like,
I mean,
he's like doing too much. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, if he wanted to, he could, but he chose not
like
to.
Certain other actors that shall not be named. She knows who I'm talking about.
Y'all. It's, man, okay, we're moving on. They get into asking the questions in the interview and they touch on how he started and his journey now. It's great to see that, his father basically anchored a career path for him to follow.
That his dad definitely had a huge role in that, I would think. From what he said in the interview, his dad had a huge role in that.
But like I said earlier, his dad was the anchor.
Yeah.
And that just so happened to work in his favor. Last night, I was on Instagram and I was scrolling through the feed just randomly. And I stumbled upon a video of him practicing, martial arts forms and you can see how passionate he is about that craft. Just that lane alone.
These are just theories. We're not saying
right. We don't know the man. We don't know the man. we're just stating how we see him as an artist in several different career fields. That's just these are just our opinions. Yeah, I agree. He does put 110% into what he does, whether it's practicing martial arts, acting, modeling. I mean, when I was looking at all of the videos, I'm like, dang. Like I had like no words outside of dang because I'm like, yo, this man is good. Don't run up on him. Okay?
Do not. Because the man is 6'2", which first of all, you wouldn't want to run up on him in the first place. But especially you don't want to run up on him because he can kick your ass.
Right.
Easily. You don't want that smoke.
You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. You don't want it at all. You can see the passion, the drive,
Mhm.
all of that, all of the things. You can see all of that in him. And I think that just radiates through anything that he's in. Anything.
Mhm.
Any show, movie, commercial, music video, anything. Even if it's an Instagram photo of him and his dog Bear. Yes, I know the dog's name, okay? Him and his dog
The
Bear.
cutest pup, by the way.
She is freaking cute, okay? And I hope they dress her up for I'm about to say Halloween. I hope they dress her up for Christmas because I need to see the antlers. Pull out the antlers. I'm here for it. Okay. My best friend, that chick that's on the other side on the screen waving.
Hi there. It's me.
She has made me a Louis Tan fan. And
She had
I
no
wasn't
intention
really I
of
had
becoming
I
a
had
Lewis fan fan.
none at all. None at all. Now, I haven't seen any of his work. Don't cuss me out, y'all, in the comments.
Also, he's in Wu Assassins. Why did I? The most important one of all, Wu Assassins, that she has not seen.
I have
By
not
the way,
seen.
even though I've
Well,
been.
so here's the thing. I haven't seen any of the highly suggested movies and such and shows. And my only excuse is school.
They also touched on, racial issues as well, like his upbringing as far as that as well. Because if you're not aware, which you probably aren't if you're watching this, he is of mixed background. His
Right.
mom's British and or English, whichever. Don't know. Anyway, and his dad's from Singapore, so he's come, and he talked about that experience of going to Asia and people looking at him differently, even though he is of East Asian descent, but because
Mhm.
he does have a mixed appearance, and like y'all, it was this is gonna get real heavy real quick. It was kind of heartbreaking to watch him talk about that experience. Like,
Right.
and it probably sounds completely weird because again, we
We
don't
don't
know the
know this
man from
man.
Adam. We don't
We don't
know
know this
him.
man.
We've never met, but it was just like really heartbreaking to watch for
Right.
me, especially because me as a also mixed person,
Right.
I have also experienced that where people look at you different
Right.
because you're mixed, because you don't quite look one or the other. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because there's this thing of like you have to look a certain way to be that ethnicity. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you don't fit into those boxes, then it's just like you're in limbo essentially. And
Right.
I've experienced that. So for me, it was like really heartbreaking to watch. And he looked like he was like getting like flashbacks or something, like remembering having to bring up like old memories or something.
Right. Right.
It was like kind of like you feel the emotion like
Right.
bubbling up, and like you just trying to like be like, I ain't, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna get emotional here. Like just
Mhm.
like just tamping it down, right?
Right.
And I could feel could I kind of got understood that feeling because it's like I understood, when you're talking about those tough topics, having
Right.
to be like, compose yourself,
Mhm.
you don't want to cry or you don't want to get super emotional talking about this thing, even though it's something that does make you very emotional,
Right. Right.
and like I understand like that particular topic is very like triggering for a lot of people that of
Mhm.
mixed descent, like not to say not to use that word in a non mental health
No,
related
I understand. No, I understand
thing,
what you
but
mean.
like it can be very, it can just bring up those old wounds.
Yeah. So when I saw that part, I literally said that he was triggered immediately That question came out of left field, and
It
that made
really
him
did.
reflect on all of the past issues that he had. And he had no intentions on sitting up in an interview trying to swallow down all of the emotions that were, spewing out of him. And you could literally see in his eyes that it was just like, oh God, I gotta relive this again. And then you know how you're looking at somebody and you're like, I can tell that person is really in deep thought, because every word that came out of his mouth, I'm like, he's thinking about all the words that, he wants to say but can't say because he has to keep it, got to keep it classy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you don't want to say anything bad and kind of throw off you don't want to, misrepresentate, all the things that you stand for because of everyone else's hatred, toward you.
Or just
So,
discrimination,
right. And
sometimes it's not
yeah,
even just hatred, it's just
right.
discriminating based on what someone looks
What
like.
someone looks like. Yeah. So I'm like, I really hope that this man doesn't end the call and have this on his mind. You know what I mean? That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, let him breathe first. Let him breathe first before he
Well,
kind of taps into that. He did well,
he did
because
very well with that.
if it were me and I was of mixed race and I had to answer a question like that, and I know that I had past issues that may very well trigger me, you know what I mean? I would be stumbling over my words. I know me. I would stumble over my words and I would let my emotions show. As for him, it was straight poker face, but you could easily read. He has those readable eyes.
Yes.
You can tell how he's really and truly feeling if you look into this is just with anybody. You can really tell how someone is
The
feeling.
eyes are the windows into the soul, as they say.
Hello. You can tell with his eyes. Um but yeah, those are my thoughts on that particular question. And then the one that made me super fangirl out and made me
Both of us.
say, oh yeah, I'm now a fan. Thank you for introducing me to this guy via the internet. When they asked him about his love for the girls, my girls,
Girl.
Blackpink. When I tell you I lost it,
She
I
was
lost it.
smiling so big
So big.
because we were watching it together on
Right.
YouTube and we were on a call and everything. So she was smiling so bad. Mind you, I was smiling throughout the whole thing because I just,
And then
I'm a fan of
exactly. And then
Blackpink.
but then when it got emotional, when we felt like it was super emotional, we had to pause and then we had
Yeah.
to discuss. But Blackpink, Blackpink in the area?
And it's funny because he said it happened the same way for us where he said that he hadn't had any intention of becoming like an actual fan of
It was
theirs.
a
It just
natural. It was
it's the same
natural.
thing with us. I mean, I started listening to music and
Yeah.
I didn't have any intention of being a fan.
Okay, so it was a whole mess when we found out that he was a huge, and he tries to downplay it. Okay, so here's
He
what
totally
happened.
did.
He's tried to downplay
They
it
put him on spot too
right, they did. They threw him out there. So
for this whole
it turns
business.
out, right, all of his business. So it turns out that the interviewer did their research and they discovered that he was a big Blackpink fan. Stan, I should say. Stan.
Man,
And
definitely.
he tried to downplay it. And we all
Of
saw
course.
through that. We was like, nah, you be singing the songs. You be singing the songs. You be dancing in the shower to the songs. So then he says, oh, we know that the interviewer says, oh, we see that you follow Lisa, one of the
Well, a
members.
fan. said that you follow Lisa, like
A fan said that he
pointed it out.
found,
Yeah,
yeah, pointed it out. And he's like, oh, and then
he
you
was completely caught off
see
guard though.
you, but
He was
he was
scrambling for an
completely.
answer, and it was called
But
freaking
what's so
hilarious.
funny, is the fact that you could see him kind of turn into like a hermit crab and it's like, I
Yeah,
wish
it was
I
just like
didn't do that, you know. And it was cute to see him kind of act like that for a moment.
that was
And
adorable. That was
I
adorable.
was cracking up because I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing even for me, and it's not happening to me.
This is like full on secondhand embarrassment because it's just
Yes.
because imagine you being put on the spot like that because you
Oh
like,
my God.
and
Oh
it's
my
just like
God.
it's one thing when you're like us,
Right.
non-celebrities, nobody knows who we
Right.
are, right?
Right.
He's a celebrity. For him to be put on the spot like that, man, is
Right.
like, ooh,
Right. I
it's
was
a
just
lot,
like,
you know?
oh
But it
man.
was hilarious. It was so funny because you could tell he was like scrambling to like come up with
With
an
something
answer that wouldn't be like, you know, too
too
much, you know?
revealing. Right.
Like
So
but it
so
was funny. It was hilarious.
that was freaking hilarious. That was so
Right.
funny. And then he went on to say why he was a big fan of Blackpink and how they were, inspiring because of the documentary. And then I was like, oh, Netflix got a documentary on Blackpink? I was like,
They
okay, I
do.
gotta watch that. I haven't watched it yet, y'all.
Of
School.
course.
Don't do
School.
me in the comments. Okay, that was a good interview. Also, he talked about his dad a lot in the interview. Well, in certain parts, he talks
Hmm.
a lot about his dad and how his dad was a part of the industry. I believe his dad is still a part of the industry,
Yeah.
writing,
Hmm.
writing. Child, I did my research, but his dad is a writer still within the industry. I'm not sure if he's doing any stunts or anything like that. You know, people be out here in these streets still doing stunts.
Cough
And
cough. Jackie Chan.
listen, about like 101 years old, and you be like, dang, you still got it in you. You know what I mean? You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, that
So,
one in the tank. Like,
right. If you gonna chop, you
which
gotta chop like
mind
this.
you, speaking of Jackie Chan,
Right.
he did say in the interview that he was very much inspired a lot by Jackie Chan,
Jackie
especially
Chan.
when he was doing his role in Iron Fist because his character was using the drunken fist style. So he was like,
Wow.
like Jackie Chan is like a huge inspiration for him as
Right.
well.
Right.
So he said that because of that, he also wants to try to do more comedy kind of things as well.
True.
So
But people don't want to put him. I don't think people want to see him in comedy, or they probably won't give him a role in comedy because they may feel like he's taking, and this is my personal opinion. I write it and I'll, direct it. We can co-direct. Okay, Lewis? We can co-direct. I'm just putting that out there in the atmosphere. Okay. So if you see this podcast, okay, holla at your girl. Cause I'm a broke college student. However, we could get out there and get the shots. We could write. You could call me. Slide in the DMs. Not like that, y'all.
professionally,
Not like that.
professionally.
Via email. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the bio. Serious inquiries only. Okay. We can love and appreciate him taking another role, doing something else, because I don't want him to get stuck in that genre of
I,
doing one
I
thing.
yeah, of being
Yes.
like super serious martial artist or like whatever, whatever.
Right. Right. I want him to
I'm here for
actually,
it.
yeah, I want him to actually do like romantic comedies. Could y'all imagine in the comments, comment down below if you could see Louis Tan doing a romantic comedy, because that would be fire.
I
Don't tell me
needed
that y'all
I
not
needed
thinking
it
about it.
yesterday because representation matters, and we don't have enough
Right.
male Asian leads.
You
Okay,
don't. You don't.
You're
Not
seeing it
unless
like
it's
a little bit more with like Henry Golding.
right.
But we need more. We need more variety, fam.
Right. It's
Okay.
important that we see more representation for all cultures and not just the regular schmegular. Y'all know what I'm hitting at. I'm not gonna say it.
If you're gonna be an activist,
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Right.
Don't just say you're gonna do something, because everybody hates a phony. Okay, we
Right.
all hate a phony. Nobody likes a phony, regardless of how you might feel about various activists, activisms, whatever, or organizations or ideals or whatever. Regardless of how you might feel about it, you gotta respect somebody who actually says what they're for and
Right.
stands behind it.
Right.
Like actually puts in some form of work
Right.
to say that yes, I support this cause. You know, they don't
Right.
just like, oh, I support this cause and then don't do anything.
Just because. Right.
Right? Just because it's a fad, quote unquote, right? Or
Right.
they believe it's bad or whatever, you know,
Right.
and they just say, oh, I support it and not
Right.
actually do anything behind it, you know?
Right.
So I mad respect to Louis Tan for that.
Yeah, I'm happy that he's actually here for he's here. First of all, he is here for the culture, people. And if you have an issue with that, you might as well leave the chat. Okay? Don't even talk to the man, don't support the man because he's gonna have something to say and it may not be what you want to hear. However, I'm here for him standing up for the people, for the culture, and standing in. I can't wait to see what else he has in store. That's about it for us for this first video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want you guys to please like, comment, and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell,
Please.
so that you're
Please.
up to date on when we upload another episode, and so you can keep looking at and listening to all of the shenanigans that will occur on our podcast with our lovely faces as well.
Keep up with the girls also on social media. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.